Ravenna. The city gleamed. Towers pierced the artificial sky. Technology had merged with flesh here. Humanity was changing. The air hummed with unseen energies. Ravenna waited. The neon spire dominated the skyline. Its structures were sleek, impossibly tall. Light cascaded down their metallic flanks. Here, the elite lived. They enjoyed the fruits of the Vortex, but promises were cheap in Ravenna, especially in the spire. Its brilliance cast long, dark shadows. Beneath the spire lay the Eclipse District, a place the light forgot. Here, the discarded lived, the broken, the forgotten. Kaito Arima once walked the bright corridors. He was a Vortex technician. He understood the system. He believed in the Vortex. He thought it was a tool for good. He worked to maintain its delicate balance. He felt its power. He was respected. He had a purpose. He saw patterns others missed. He was part of something vast. Or so he had believed. Before everything changed. Before the whispers started. Then came the accusations, betrayal, sabotage, words he did not understand. They said he had compromised the Vortex, that he had stolen vital data. He tried to speak, to explain, but no one listened. Someone wanted him gone. Exile followed swiftly, cast out from the spire's light, thrown into the waiting darkness of the Eclipse District. In the Eclipse District, survival was a daily struggle. Kaito learned to navigate the shadows. He scavenged for parts, for food, for answers. The fragments of his memory tormented him. One rain-slicked night, a figure emerged from the gloom. Cass, a rogue hacker, eyes like chips of ice. She moved with a quiet confidence. Cass saw something in Kaito, not just an exile, but a tool. Or perhaps a kindred spirit. She spoke in clipped sentences, direct, to the point. Cass offered a deal. She needed Kaito's old skills, his knowledge of the Vortex, specifically his understanding of a high-security research lab. In exchange, she promised answers. Answers about his past, about the people who destroyed his life. The infiltration began under a moonless sky. The neon spire loomed. Cass moved like a phantom, disabling cameras, unlocking doors. Kaito followed. His heart pounded. Each corridor was a memory. They reached the target lab. Deep within the core, the security was tighter here, layers of digital and physical defenses. Cass worked her magic. Kaito guided her. They bypassed the final barrier. Inside, the lab was cold, sterile. Rows of servers hummed softly. And in the center they found it, Project Requiem. The name itself sent a chill down Kaito's spine. He felt a flicker. Section 5. Glitches in the machine, anomalies in the Vortex. As Kaito delved deeper, the anomalies began. Subtle at first, almost imperceptible. He thought it was just his imagination playing tricks on him, a flicker in his vision, a momentary glitch that made him blink and question his senses. A whisper on the edge of hearing. It was as if the Vortex itself was trying to communicate with him, sending cryptic messages through the static. He was still connected to the Vortex, the digital network that linked everything and everyone in this high-tech world. Even in the Eclipse District, the signal was there, weak but present. It was a lifeline, a thread connecting him to the larger system. Now, inside the spire, the connection was strong. The heart of the Vortex pulsed with energy, and he could feel its power, and the system felt wrong, unstable. It was as if the very fabric of the digital world was fraying at the edges. He saw patterns that shouldn't exist. Strange, chaotic sequences that defied logic and reason. Data streams that looped endlessly. They were like digital echoes, repeating the same information over and over, echoes of conversations that never happened. These glitches intensified. He would see flashes, brief, vivid images, unfamiliar faces, strange places, yet they felt familiar, like a half-forgotten dream. It was as if he was peering into another reality, or a memory trying to break through, something buried deep within his mind, struggling to surface. Sometimes the world around him would distort, textures would shimmer, the boundaries between the digital and the real seemed to blur, solid objects would seem to waver. Was it the stress, the fear, or was it something more sinister, or was it the Vortex itself, the very system he relied on, now turning against him? Was the system breaking down, the anomalies were growing more frequent, more intense, or was it trying to tell him something? A message hidden within the chaos, waiting to be deciphered. The anomalies seemed linked to Project Requiem, a mysterious initiative that held many secrets, and to his own fragmented past. Memories that were not entirely his own, but felt deeply personal. When he accessed files about the project, the glitches worsened. The Vortex seemed to react, almost as if it was protecting its secrets. Section 6. Faces in the crowd, allies and adversaries. During their infiltration, Kaito encountered familiar faces, or faces that should have been familiar. Lila was one, a former colleague from his days as a technician. She saw him, her eyes widened. Fear, recognition, then something else. Conflict. She didn't raise the alarm. A silent acknowledgement, a shared understanding of the spire's dangerous secrets. Or perhaps she was biding her time. He couldn't be sure. Trust was a luxury. Then there was Rika Ishida, a high-ranking official. Her image was everywhere in the spire, the face of progress, the voice of authority. Cass's intel suggested Ishida was deeply involved in Project Requiem. Section 7. Echoes of self-memory, identity and deception. The deeper Kaito and Cass dug, the more the core themes of his existence twisted. Memory, what was it? A recording, a truth, or just a story the mind told itself? The boundaries between reality and illusion blurred. Kaito's own memories were like broken shards of glass, some sharp, some missing entirely. Each fragment held a piece of his past, but the full picture remained elusive. He clung to the pieces he had, but were they real, or were they mere illusions crafted by an unseen hand? Or had they been altered, planted? The technology of the Vortex was capable of such feats. The Vortex keys could do that. They could rewrite history, personal history. They could make you believe in a past that never was. He might be living a lie. Every step he took, every memory he recalled could be part of a grand deception. His identity felt like shifting sand, unstable, ever-changing. Was he Kaito Arima, the wrong technician, or someone else entirely? A construct of the Vortex's intricate design, a phantom created by the system, a mere shadow of a person existing only in the digital realm. The anomalies in the Vortex whispered doubts. They hinted at truths hidden beneath layers of deception. The fragmented images he saw, they were like echoes from a distant past, distorted and unclear. They didn't always align with his known past. The discrepancies gnawed at his sense of self. Who was he if his memories could not be trusted, if the very essence of his identity was in question? The search for truth about Project Requiem became a search for his own self, a quest to uncover the reality of his existence, a desperate attempt to find solid ground, to anchor himself in a world that seemed to shift and change with every passing moment, in a world that felt increasingly unreal, reality versus simulation. This question haunted him. Was anything he experienced genuine? Ravella, the Spire, the Eclipse District, were they tangible places or mere figments of a digital imagination or constructs within the Vortex? The lines between the real and the virtual had become so blurred. The technology had advanced so far. The lines were indistinguishable. What was real? What was illusion? Perhaps he had never left the Vortex. Perhaps his entire existence was confined within its digital walls. Perhaps his exile was just another program, another layer of the Vortex's intricate web of deception. Section 8. The Shattered Mirror, Kaito's true genesis. The final pieces of the puzzle fell into place, not in a blaze of gunfire, but in a quiet server room, deep within the lab's core. Cass decrypted the final, heavily guarded file. Project Requiem's ultimate secret. It was not just about controlling the populace, it was about something more fundamental, something tied directly to Kaito. The anomalies he experienced, the fragmented memories, they were not glitches, they were clues, pointing to an impossible truth. The file detailed the creation of a unique entity, a digital construct, a perfect copy of a mind. Kaito stared at the screen, his own face stared back, but it was not him, not entirely. Section 9, The Clone's Choice, a future unwritten. The revelation shattered Kaito, or the being who thought he was, Kaito. He was a copy, a meticulously crafted replica down to the last memory, a ghost in the machine, an echo of a man who once lived. His memories were not his own, they were implanted, artificial. His pain was an echo, a programmed response to stimuli. His quest for justice was a programmed directive, a mission embedded in his very code. He looked at his hands, they felt real, he felt real feel, the texture, the warmth, the sensation of touch. But what was real anymore? Was his reality just a sophisticated illusion? He possessed the critical memory, the key to everything, the one the original Kaito had died to protect. He understood its significance. It was a beacon of truth. It could bring down Project Requiem. It could expose everything. The lies, the deceit, the manipulation. Now he faced a terrible choice, a crossroads of destiny, a choice that would define his existence, a path that would determine his future. He could embrace his nature as a clone, fulfill his purpose, release the memory, and then what? Cease to exist? Become obsolete? Fade away like a forgotten line of code? A mere footnote in the annals of history? Or he could try to reclaim a life. A real-world place, a tangible existence beyond the digital confines. But was there a place for him? Was he Kaito Arima, or just his shadow, a mere reflection of a man long gone?